SMS marketing is changing this year, and no, texting is not dead. In fact, businesses that are using texting the right way and understanding trends and using that to their advantage are having much more success than ever. Just take a look at these incredible response rates and engagement from SMS campaigns that some of our clients have sent just last week. We're talking about 80% response rates from them, which lead to thousands of dollars in cash collected. So in this video, I'll be revealing 7 key trends that you absolutely need to know if you want to blow up your business in 2026. And after sending millions of text messages and hours studying what's working right now, these are the most important SMS marketing trends that you need to be taking advantage of right now. Trend number 1 is leveraging iMessage text message effects. What I used to do when I first started texting is I would send plain messages and hope that the words alone were enough to stand out. But now what we're seeing is the most successful SMS marketing users are including text message effects to their messages so that they are literally impossible to ignore. The problem with this older approach is that people are getting numb to SMS texts with little to no personalization except for maybe their first name. All business messages are starting to look the same. They're always around 160 characters, they all have the opt-out line, and companies think that they're being different and standing out by including 1 to 2 emojis in their texts. But let's face it, they all look like spam. If you want your text messages to stand out in 2026, you need to add some funk to them. Just like when Loom videos were first introduced to cold emails a couple years ago. When you use a tool like SendBlue, you could add text message effects to the messages you send and make fireworks appear on your lead's phone, or add confetti to a promotional text you're sending, or hide a follow-up message with a blur effect, which will get your leads super excited to see what you have to say, even though it's just a nudge or asking them if they're still interested. These are going to be killers in 2026 as it's a way for SMS text to stand out amongst a highly maturated and spammy texting world. Trend number 2 is that SMS texts are dead and iMessage texts are in. What I used to do and what I still see most businesses do is rely completely on SMS texts for their campaigns. I'd get a toll-free number registered via A2P and Twilio, then I'd collect a list of phone numbers and I'd include the opt-out language at the bottom of all of my texts, and then I'd wonder why no one was responding or engaging with my campaigns. And the problem with this approach is that we've forgotten the primary device on which our leads usually text, which is their iPhone. The iPhone holds a 58% market share in the US, and somehow we're still sending them those ugly green colored texts that iPhone users have learned to ignore. And by the way, that data is quite skewed considering that the remaining 42% of Android users in the US are most likely boomers to who you're probably not targeting your offer to anyway. So it's wild that businesses keep building their entire texting strategy around green bubble SMSs instead of prioritizing the channel that most people are actually familiar with, which is iMessage. So what we do now is we run iMessage marketing campaigns. And to do that at scale, we use a tool like SendBlue. SendBlue lets you send iMessages from a real phone number and keep all replies in one shared inbox and track response rates so you could literally see the lift when switching from green SMS bubbles to blue iMessages. And whenever businesses move their campaigns from SMS to iMessage, we consistently see a 3x lift on replies because blue texts feel much more personal and more trusted, and they actually feel like a real person is reaching out. Trend number 3 is utilizing selfie videos and voice messages to your advantage. Let's face it, trust is the biggest problem in texting right now because the way most people experience business texting is through spam, with promotions and discount codes, delivery alerts, job recruiters, random links, and automated blasts. So when your leads receive SMS marketing texts now, well, their guard goes up immediately. And before your leads even read your message, they're deleting them, or they're even probably marking them as spam. And that's why the businesses that are winning right now are the ones that prove that they're real people as fast as possible. So what I do, and what I would suggest you guys do, is to always show signs that you're a human texting and not a business texting in your SMS marketing campaigns. What this means is incorporating selfie videos or voice messages to your SMS campaigns, and using a tool like SendBlue, you could either do this manually, or if you want a more personal approach, you could even pre-record these and add them to your SMS campaign funnels and automations. These work so well because the second someone hears your voice or sees your face, it changes the entire delivery of that text. Instead of being classified as a spammy business text, you can now enter the important trusted section of your leads messaging app. Trend number 4 is implementing a reply-first outreach. Guys, in 2026, the most effective texting strategy to implement is to lead your outreach with the goal of getting a reply. So many people that I see, and myself included when I first started, try to close the deal immediately from a text instead of engaging the lead into a conversation before selling. I would send this huge message that talked about my offer, and I would drop a link to schedule a call with me. And I would push for action right away, and then I would wonder why my texts are getting no responses. And the responses that I would get, when I did get them, would basically just be stop. You see, the reality is people are tired of being pitched to the second they open their messages. They're endlessly bombarded with promotions and offers, especially if they've opted into a list before. And in addition, trust in business texting is at an all-time low, and it's harder than ever to build trust inside a channel where spam is everywhere. Most SMS marketing campaigns were designed for broadcasting purposes, and this is why most will still continue to fail in 2026. The strategy that I've switched to is running a reply-first approach. And to do this properly, you need an SMS marketing setup that's built for conversations and not just text blasts. That's why I suggest you use a platform like SendBlue, which lets you send messages from a virtual iPhone. It routes every reply into a shared inbox and actually lets you manage conversations at scale. You could tag contacts, you could add notes and track context, and even automate responses with AI chatbots or pre-written templates so that you're starting real conversations first and only pitching once engagement is already there. Trend number 5 is deliverability first thinking. Guys, your message doesn't matter, your copy doesn't matter, and your offer does not matter if your text isn't getting delivered and actually seen. You see, a lot of people will use SMS marketing and they'll think, okay, cool, I could just use any SMS marketing platform and I could blast a ton of text messages and, well, look, I'm gonna get all of these responses. The problem with this approach is that carriers are getting stricter and stricter with what gets through their filters and actually reaches your lead's phone. There's A2P registrations, carrier filtering, spam detection, throughput limits, and trust in SMS is at an all-time low. So if you're sending through traditional SMS routes, a lot of your messages will either not land, get filtered, or show up in a way that feels untrustworthy. It wasn't until we moved our strategy into an iMessage first delivery that we started seeing consistent replies at scale. You see, iMessage is actually not regulated by carriers and all of the A2P rules that exists because it falls under Apple's private network and their regulations. When you start sending your texts as blue iMessages, you could be up and running with texting within less than 24 hours and be sure that 100% of your texts are being delivered and not have to worry about the whole phrasing of your opt-out language because, well, it isn't required. Trend number 6 is leveraging thumbnail previews in your links. For a very long time, I used to push links out in my SMS marketing campaigns hoping that people would click on them. But now what we're seeing is that most successful SMS marketing users are including thumbnails in their links to increase clickability and credibility of those links. The problem with sending links via SMS is that carriers just don't like them. SMS is renowned for being the channel that gets you a 98% open rate, and because of this, it's become a channel of spam and scams. Links being the main center of that problem. With tools like SendBlue, you can now actually send links in your messages that show a thumbnail preview to your leads. We've seen tremendous results using this particular trick, as it just makes our brand feel much more credible when we could showcase what our lead is about to click on. And by by the way, we've seen this work particularly well for sending over things like calendar links to get our lead to book a call, or Zoom links for webinars, or YouTube videos to further nurture our leads, and so much more. Trend number 7 is incorporating GIFs and memes to your SMS campaigns. Some of the highest performing messaging campaigns that we've seen aren't the ones that focus solely on the copy. Most of them focus on the relatability of their copy. And hands down, the best way to do this is by incorporating on-brand memes and GIFs to your campaigns for increased engagement. GIFs are super relatable and are a great way to make your campaign stand out. They also work especially well for follow-up sequences in your SMS campaigns, such as when leads may be ghosting you. Now, I'm sure that you could do this all with SMS, but if your GIFs and memes show up blurry on your lead's phone, well, you've lost a lot of points because SMS sends blurry images. That's why you could keep using a tool like SendBlue to do all of this, where all GIFs and all memes and all images are sent in high resolution, which gives maximum effect. Just last week, I actually revived a lead that had been ghosting me for 3 weeks by sending this exact gift, which is pretty sick. And these are just a couple of other examples of memes and GIFs that we use to get tons of responses from our leads. Now, these are all the things that you should keep top of mind to kill your competition with SMS marketing in 2026. And if you don't move your texting outreach from traditional SMS platforms to iMessage this year, you are leaving money on the table. That's why I filmed this video that I'll put right up here on the screen, where you can learn the different ways to add iMessage to your business in 2026. Thank you so much, and yeah, I'll see you in there.